Catching some Z's from page 28 in your method book. Okay, for this you're going to use root 5 power chords. The song has syncopation and palm muting as well. Now, if you look at your music, he's showing the 2-finger power chords, but I really want you to use the 3-finger power chords because they're going to prepare you more for bar chords. So, for example, here's the C5 root 5 power chord. So instead of using 1 and 3 only and having this other pinky out here or somewhere else, put your pinky below your 3rd finger. So you have your 1st finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret, that's playing the root. 3rd finger is playing the 5th of the chord, which is on the 4th string, 5th fret. And then your pinky is going to play the octave, or the 8th note in that scale. So that is right below your 3rd finger. So on root 5 power chords, that 3rd finger is on the 3rd string. Okay. So and as you're playing root 5, you're still trying to bring the tip of your finger touching the underside of the 6th string to block it, so I don't hear the open E. As you move up and down the neck, you want to release the tension a little bit so you keep the same shape as you're doing power chords. Okay. Alright, so I drew the diagram of the root 5 power chord on the paper that I uploaded onto Schoology. The other thing you want to take notice of is this A5 that starts the song. A root 5 A5 power chord. You have to bring your 1st finger down because the root A is open. So for a root 5 A chord or A power chord, the 5th string is open because A is open. And now my 1st finger is just going to come down a string. I'm not just going to play this note. I'm going to go, so I've got the root, the 5th, and the octave. Just as though if I had the power chord shaped like that before the neck. So now the root is open, so I'm before the nut of the guitar. But that would be silly to do it that way, just because I can do this with 1 finger. The other thing we're going to do eventually is play an A chord, which would be called like a rock A chord, which I'm barring across that A chord and getting that sound. I'm blocking the 1st string, just like I'm doing with the other power chords here. So for the A5 power chord, instead of playing just with 1st finger here, bar 2 strings and then block the 2nd and the 1st string, so you get, okay. And again, palm muting this whole thing, so keep your palm after the bridge, right on the strings after the bridge, and keep it there as you play. Alright, so here it is. The fret indications are located on the right side of the diagrams there. You can write them a little bigger if you want to. So here's the piece. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with an electric guitar, you can make it a little rock sounding, use some distortion and get a little heavier sound. It will sound a little heavier. If you want to get a little more sound, you can release some of the palm mute to let the strings ring a little more. I'm just still stopping the sound, so the 8th notes that are between the strums that you're doing, you've got to stop the sound by just having your hand stop, come back to the string and stop it on this side of with your right hand. So I'm going strum, strum, rest, strum, strum, like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So that's the rhythms, all those 8th note. So you see 8th notes and you see 8th rest. So you're playing a lot of sound on the ands of the beats. The quarter notes are all landing on the beat. So your syncopation happens with the eighth rest and then an eighth note, eighth rest, then an eighth note. Okay, so you see that in your rhythm. So to make it a little fuller sound, just strum a little, let your palm come a little bit more away from the strings.